Hey, what's going on, guys? So following up with my last video, I'm going to be getting back into posting game development related videos. And I guess more specifically, game dev updates for my new project. I'll probably occasionally jump back and forth between game development and drawing videos, but for the time being, this will be my focus. Okay, so I knew I wanted to make another RPG, and I was fairly certain I wanted it to be 2D, but I wasn't yet sure on the art style. So I wanted to get the style right before I moved on to adding any code. I knew I needed it to be simple so I could add new game art frequently without it being too time consuming, but I also still wanted it to be appealing to look at. Taking inspiration from a few comic art styles and various other 2D games, I decided to go with a combination between Darkest Dungeon and Mike Mignola's Hellboy. So I finally got to doodling up a bunch of in-game items to see if they'd look okay in that particular style. And although I know it's obviously not the same quality as the art in my time lapses, I thought they came out looking pretty decent. So I painted them up in Photoshop, trying to keep the color consistent with the line style. And when I was finally pleased with how everything looked, I finally got started on the game. So I'm using the Unity engine as my game engine, and Blender as my model editor and for animations. Currently I'm having issues where seemingly random animations will refuse to export to the Unity engine, or if they do, they'll sometimes be broken, and for some reason they'll animate improperly. So, kind of a pain in the ass. I also need to see if there's a way of exporting individual animations, because re-importing the entire character and having to set it all back up each and every time I add new animations is getting ridiculous. Moving on to the code, I haven't really added anything related to gameplay, or that'll be used in the final game yet. Currently everything that I'm writing is just a temporary in-game editor, which allows me to test things in-game a little easier. Hopping over to Unity, I'll show what it all looks like in-game. Just want to add a quick disclaimer, the sound effects and the image in the background are not mine. I'm using both as temporary stand-ins only, and once I have time to make more game art and my own sound effects, I'll be replacing them. With that out of the way, it should be noted that the only thing that might be final is the character and the item designs. The current user interface is only there for testing things while in-game. I'll speed things up real quick and let it play for a moment while I cycle through the items. As for the animations, as much as I'm happy with how a lot of them turned out, there are still several that look pretty bad and I'll need to replace. There's also several other animations that I didn't get to include here due to them not playing properly in Unity. When writing my code for my user interfaces, I like to make sure everything fits regardless of the resolution that's being used. So I've written the buttons, icons, and windows to scale with the dimensions of the player's monitor. Alright, so that's about all I've got for now. I'm pretty pleased with my progress so far though, since I only just started working on this project about 3 weeks ago. I think deciding on an art style that was easy to replicate and keep consistent has actually made this whole thing a ton easier. So if you'd like to keep up with my weekly progress outside of YouTube, or if you're an indie game creator yourself and want to show off your own game, I've set up a Discord where indie game developers can come together, collaborate, show off their own work, or even just chat all things game design. I also have an absolute ton of tutorials prepared for new creators for many different programs, as well as plenty of game design related media to keep people motivated and entertained. So for those who are interested, you can find the link in the description. All that said, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.